So if you guys are following me on Instagram, you've already seen this guitar. I unveiled it yesterday. So first and foremost, follow me on Instagram. I really appreciate it. But if you guys already did see that guitar on Instagram, if you follow me and you just want to hang out with me, thank you so much for tuning into this video. It's good to see you again. Let's unveil my left-handed Fender Stratocaster that is no longer a lefty anymore. Let's check out my American Fender Stratocaster Vintage 2 in 3-tone sunburst, and it is no longer a lefty. I flipped it righty, modded it, and I want to share the story with this guitar. So what is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. My name is Xander Raymond Charles. I'm a solo artist, a riff writer, a ghost writer, a hired gun, touring musician. I wear many different hats as it pertains to the electric guitar, and this guitar is definitely going to be getting some use very, very soon in the very near future. Let me explain. I've got a tour coming up here in about, maybe about 36 days before my first show. I'm going on tour with Elijah, and we're going on the Memphis Mayfire tour. Also, too, we are playing Rockfest, and I'm playing main stage the same day as Rob Zombie and Knock Loose and Architects and Slaughter to Prevail, Kulikan, etc. It's going to be an amazing show, and I have a lot of work cut out for me here in 2025. So enter this guitar. Where does this guitar fit into all of my plans? Well, I love Stratocasters. I said it many times on this channel. The Fender Stratocaster, the 3-tone sunburst Fender Stratocaster, was the first electric guitar that I fell in love with well before I even started playing. And I've always wanted to do either reverse Jimi Hendrix or the Joe Perry or, all the other players who have flipped guitars and, made them lefty to righty or vice versa. I've always wanted to do that myself for fun as a passion project. I've done it now, and I want to make this guitar one of, if not my literal main guitar, for the shows that I've got coming up, for the writing sessions I have coming up, etc., etc., etc. So how did this guitar get modified? What did we do to it? When I say we, my friend Alan and I, a really, really good friend, I've said that name many times here on this channel, but he and I modded this guitar together. I never told this story, but Alan actually found me on the lawn of a Slipknot show in 2021 in Camden, New Jersey, and he said, "Hey dude, been following your channel, love your stuff," and it was just a really cool interaction. Fast forward, we actually started hanging out, and come to find out, he's really, really good with modifying and wiring guitars, etc. Like doing all the stuff that I'm not that good at. So I went over to his house and we got right to work. Now, I said it in the video before with this guitar this past weekend where I said we have a problem in the sense that this guitar sounds amazing with the stock single coils. But when I cross-referenced that guitar in its stock configuration with, say, the Jim Root Strat or the Orange Strat that I have or my Ultra Lux Stratocaster, basically anything with EMGs or any of the guitars that I use when I tour, when I play live, the single coils just weren't going to cut it. It is what it is, man. So like when I'm playing with Elijah or when I'm playing with Tommy Vexed, there's some dates that haven't been announced yet, but I'll also be playing with him this year. I'm just playing with so much gain, and the single coils just would not cut it, especially in a band setting and especially with the production that goes on with these touring acts. The production team, they always want it to be very streamlined and have a ton of output with the guitars and have the quad cortex set up a certain way, and they want it to be how they want it to be, and that's totally fine. I just know for a fact that if I showed up to rehearsals with a single coil, 61 reissue Stratocaster, it just would not cut in the mix. It would not push through the noise gate, etc., etc., etc. So lo and behold, I wanted to modify the Stratocaster to do the job that I want it to do and that I need it to do. It's called how it is, man. I love EMG pickups so much. I think they're the best pickups of all time. I'm really a huge fan of them, and putting an EMG 81 in an old school dinosaur guitar does not suck. It's actually pretty sick. So at Alan's house, we ripped off the pick guard, and then I already knew this, but it came to be true that this guitar is routed as an SSS configuration, meaning there was not enough room for a humbucker. So we were deciding what to do, and I had the idea of, let's do the reverse slant for the EMG, because the reverse slant single coil sounded absolutely amazing and it sounded really, really unique. Well, what would happen if we put the EMG slanted as well? And when I say slanted, I mean not parallel with a bridge, and reverse slant, having it be, you know, like a lefty would. Like it would make more sense if it was a lefty this way, right? So when I flip it righty, now it's kind of backwards, right? So then from there, I'm like, well, do we cut into the pick guard? Do we mount it right to the body, or do we use a pickup ring? Obviously, we went with a pickup ring because I really love how my modification that I did myself with my Gym Root Strat came out, in the sense that like I put that pickup ring on the Strat like that, and I've never seen a Gym Root Strat with a pickup ring on it. So I was inspired by that modification and that guitar, so I did the very thing to this guitar. And then from there, I was like, well, since we're going to be mounting a pickup ring and we're going to be slanting it, let's just do what I always do with my pick guards anymore, and that's just cut off all of the unnecessary pick guard and just cover the control cavity right here. So underneath here, we have a battery, the battery bus, the little red block, the solderless connect system from EMG, and one single volume knob. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but just like Eddie Van Halen, we have a tone knob on the volume pot, not a volume knob on the volume pot. Because as he says, turn it up and you get good tone. And then from there, everybody, I restrung it up with D'Addario strings, 11 to 56, tuned it to drop C, and that's pretty much all I ever did to it. Oh, also too, I already said it in one video previously, but I did file the nut a little bit, just so we can make the wound strings sit in the nut slots better. And that's pretty much it, everybody. So I've really not seen a guitar that looks like this. I'm not saying there's one out there that exists, but I didn't really modify this guitar with any sort of inspiration in mind. You know, obviously you could see a lot of inspiration like Eddie and, you know, Jimi Hendrix, obviously, Joe Perry, etc. But putting in the EMG like that, kind of reverse slanted with the pick guard cut off upside down, it looks rather unique. And at the very least, very unique to my demographic and the players that play the style of music that I create, which is hard rock and metal. You know, my style is like very cyber metal, dubstep metal, you know, futuristic metal, whatever you want to call it. So I'll put the same clip I put in the video yesterday, but the first thing I did was film the Chug EQ Boost pedal demo with this guitar. So the last thing I want to say about this guitar is this. The main reason why I wanted to do this is because, again, I love Stratocasters, but also, too, any more of my demographic and, like, you know, the metal scene or anything like that, it's just very, very stale, in my opinion. Everybody's playing LTDs or Schecters or Kiesels or Ibanez's or, you know, brands like that, and there's nothing wrong with any of those brands. Let me say that again. There's nothing wrong with any of those brands. If that's what you like, that's amazing, but it is just not for me. I've said it a million times. I grew up on dad rock. I love dad rock guitars. But my point is, it's like nobody really plays these style of guitars anymore. And I want to pay homage to my younger self and, you know, stay true to the fact that, like, I just love these guitars. Nobody really plays these kinds of guitars in this genre all that much. So it makes me feel like I'm onto something. I'm doing something that isn't the norm, isn't what everybody else is doing. It's not an all blacked out LTD with Fishmans, you know what I mean? Like, it's something different and something unique to me, or at the very least, very, very specific to me. Maybe it's not the most unique thing, but not many people are doing this style of guitar anymore. And it makes me happy, man. It makes me feel inspired. Hey, look, the sun's coming out, so I can kind of show you guys that 3-tone sunburst right there. That's my microphone. That's what that shadow is. But, you know, it makes me happy, man. It makes me excited to play. It makes me feel inspired to play. This guitar right here reminds me of being 10, 11 years old, watching the Jimi Hendrix movie. You know what I mean? Watching An Evening with Bon Jovi. The 3-tone sunburst Stratocaster is my favorite first guitar ever, or my first favorite guitar ever. But yeah, everybody, that's pretty much my guitar. I can't wait to take it out on the road. It's got nitro with a little bit of polyurethane, so it'll wear a little faster than some of the newer Stratocasters, and I can't wait to show you guys what this thing does on the road and how it looks when I bring it back home. You know what I mean? All right, everybody, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Spotify, do all the things I ask. I really, really appreciate all your support. And with that being said, everybody, I'll see you guys in a video very, very soon. Later.